Had a bit of trouble getting my stockings on. I'm not really used to it. Bad material.
I'm an ordinary man. The sort you never could, ever would. Take a position of strength and staunchly never budge. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm the common man. Just a quiet living man. Now, many of you think this play is comedy. I can see, well, I'm sure I can see one person smiling. Naughty, naughty. To prove to you how serious it is, I'd like to conduct a little experiment. I would like everyone in the hall to breathe in deeply. I'll show you. See? Now on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Come on. Hold, everybody. Hold. And exhale. See? Isn't it wonderful? Did you savor the air rushing into your lungs? Did you enjoy the feeling of having your lungs swell with the rush of air? Did you savor the sensation of, well, being alive? You see, that's it. While you breathe, you live. I'm very much in favour of breathing, personally. I like it. I'm very much in favour of breathing, and that's all there is to it. And that's what this play is about. What some people will do to keep on breathing. We have Sir Thomas More. He's a foolish man. He dies, you know. I mean, come on, guys. Forget about him now. He's alive in the play, but at the end of the play, he dies. He actually goes to the block for a principle, an idea. I mean, I wouldn't do it, would you? I don't think so. Sir Thomas More became one of the most powerful men in England after Henry VIII. Chancellor of England. Like Prime Minister, really. Gave it all away for an idea. Anyway, it's the 16th century, and Henry VIII, King of England, wants to divorce his wife, Catherine. She's older than him, by the way. She used to be married to Henry's brother. Henry's brother died, so Henry married her. Yes. Anyway, he wants to divorce her because she can't bear him a son. England had civil war Henry doesn't want any more civil wars, and the way to avoid this was to have a son, an heir to the throne. Catherine couldn't give him a son, so he wants to divorce her. Oh, sorry. Anyway, he can't just divorce her because England in the 16th century was a Catholic country. And to get a divorce, well, you had to ask the Pope. And the Pope had said no. So what does Henry do? He says, right, I am head of the church in England. I will make myself... No, wait, I got that wrong. He said, I am the king in England. I will make myself head of the church in England, and I will give myself a divorce. And this is what he does. But Sir Thomas More doesn't agree with this. Because Sir Thomas More thinks the Pope is appointed by God. And, you know, he simply doesn't believe in divorces. People all over England are being made to swear on the Bible that they recognise the king as being head of the church in England. But Sir Thomas won't do it. He will not be made to swear to something he doesn't believe in, even though it may mean his death. And in the end it does. So what? Who cares? Not me. Yes, we have Sir Thomas's family. Wife Alice, bossy little lady. Daughter Margaret, lovely. And future son-in-law Groper. A bit of a know-all, like myself. Then we have Cromwell. He's a bad man. A very bad man. He will do anything for power. In fact, he wants to become Chancellor. He's a bad man. That was Cromwell. He's got a black hat, you see, because he's bad. I've given him a black hat so you all know he's bad. Ha ha ha. Hey. We have the Duke of Norfolk. He's a lord, a noble friend of Sir Thomas's. But he's scared. And when the king says to him, "You help me get Sir Thomas More," he helps. They all help. Because they're all scared. And they're all very much in favour of breathing. Laugh at that joke, but you won't laugh at the other ones, will you? We have Richard Rich. He's a liar, a deceitful man, another one who wants to become Chancellor. And like Cromwell, he will do anything for power. That's Sir Thomas More.
Ah, Matthew, the wine, please.
It's there, Sir Thomas.
Is it good?
Bless you, sir. I don't know.
Bless you too, Matthew. Richard, you should go back to university. You're deteriorating. Well, I'm not used. Do you know how much I have to show for 7 months' work? Work? Waiting's work when you wait as I wait hard. But Richard, the Dean of St. Paul's offers you a post with a house, a servant, and £50 a year. Post? What post? At the new school. A teacher. Richard, a man should go where he won't be tempted. Look. Look at this. Beautiful. Italian. Do you want it? Why? No joke. Keep it. Or sell it. Well, thank you, of course, but... You'll sell it, won't you? Yes, I think so. Yes, I will. And buy what? Some decent clothes? I want a gown like yours. You'll get several gowns for that, I should imagine. It was given to me a little while ago. By a woman. It's a bride, Richard. So you give it away, of course? Of course. Richard, in office you're offered all sorts of things. Why, I was once offered a whole village. teacher. You'd make a fine teacher, perhaps a great one. And if I was, who would know it? You, your pupils, your friends, God. Not a bad public, that. Oh, and a quiet life. You say that. Richard, I was commanded into office. It was inflicted upon me. Be a teacher.
The Duke of Norfolk, a lord, Lady Margaret, my master's daughter. Lovely, really lovely.
Matthew, get about your business. Amazing girl, Thomas, but where are you going to find a husband for her? Where indeed? Master Cromwell has a sense of marriage, I think when you know Cromwell. Slightly, Your Grace. Wolsey's secretary, it's a fact. When? 2-3 days. Did you know this? No. Do you like Master Cromwell, Master Rich? He's the only man in London if he does. I think I do, Lady Alice. Good. You won't be needing my help then. Sir Thomas, if only you knew how much I'd rather your help than his. Thank you, Matthew. Talk of the Cardinal's secretary, and the Cardinal appears. He wants me. Now. At this time of the night? What time is it?
11 o'clock, sir.
Is there a boat?
Waiting, sir.
Your Grace, Richard, you'll excuse us? Dear Lord, give us rest tonight, for if we must be wakeful, cheerful, careful only for our soul salvation, for Christ's sake, amen. And bless our Lord the King. And bless our Lord the King. Amen. Off to bed then. Oh, Your Grace. Here is a young man desperate for employment. Well, if you recommend him... No, I don't recommend him, but I do point him out. All right, come on. Sir Thomas. Thank you. Be a teacher.
Wolsey the Chancellor, also the Cardinal, head of the Catholic Church in England. A very, very powerful man. He's writing a letter to the Pope, asking the Pope to give Henry a divorce. Now, he wants Sir Thomas's support. But Sir Thomas won't give it.
1:30. Where have you been? 1 o'clock, Your Grace. Since you seem so violently opposed to this letter to the Pope, I thought you'd like to read it over. Thank you, Your Grace. Before it goes. Your Grace is very kind. Well, what do you think of it? It seems very well phrased, Your Grace. The devil it does. And apart from the style, Sir Thomas, you're a constant regret to me, Thomas. You could have been a statesman. Your Grace flatters me. Don't fribble. Are you going to help me? If Your Grace will be specific. Hark, you're a plotter, Thomas. Take you all together. Your experience, your scholarship, what are you? The King wants a son. Are you going to oppose me? All right, we'll plod. The King needs a son, Sir Thomas. What are you going to do about it? I'm very sure the king needs no advice from me on what to do about it. Thomas, we're alone. I give you my word, there is nobody here.
I didn't suppose there was, Your Grace.
Do you favour a civil war, Sir Thomas? For God's sake, Your Grace! Then the king needs a son! I repeat! What are you going to do about it?
I pray for it daily.
God says he means it. The king, Sir Thomas, wants to marry his mistress. At least she's fertile.
But she's not his wife.
No! Queen Catherine's his wife and she's as barren as a brick. Are you going to pray for a miracle?
Yes.
Yes. Good. All right. Pray. Pray by all means. But in addition to prayer, there is effort. And my efforts to secure a divorce. Have I your support or have I not? I don't like plodding, Thomas. Don't make me plod longer than I have to. Well?
Then clearly all we have to do is approach the Pope and ask him.
I'm sure we can influence the Pope's answer.
How, like this?
Like this another way.
I've already expressed my opinion on this.
Then good night. Oh, your conscience is your own affair, Thomas, but you're a statesman. Do you remember the civil wars?
Very clearly.
Let the king die without a son, and we'll have them back again. Let the king die without a son, and this peace you think so much of will go out like that.
And we shall have my prayers to fall back on.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? To govern the country by prayer.
Yes, I think I should.
And I'd like to be there when you try. Who do you think will look after all this paperwork after I'm gone? You? What about my secretary, Master Cromwell?
Cromwell?
You'd rather do it yourself.
Oh, me rather than Cromwell?
Then come down to earth. And until then, allow for an enemy.
When?
Here, Sir Thomas.
As your Grace pleases.
As God wills.
Perhaps, Your Grace.
More?
Your Grace.
You should have been a priest.
Like yourself, Your Grace.
Don't look at me so nicely! Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm still working. It's okay for him. He goes off with all his meetings to the Chancellor. He doesn't have to sit up doing nothing. We didn't have TV back in the 16th century, you know. What's it worth? Tell me, man, what's it worth? I mean, let's think about it. I get my bed, I get food, but does he pay me a decent dollar? Sorry. Excuse me, I'm in a bad mood.
Matthew. My coat, please. Yes, Matthew, still up?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The wine, Matthew?
Yes, sir.
Is it good tonight, Matthew?
I wouldn't know, sir.
I'm sure, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. It is
is quite good, Matthew. Well, Matthew, is everyone else asleep?
Yes, sir. Well, Lady Alice is in bed, but not Lady Margaret.
Why is Lady Margaret not in bed, Matthew?
Master Roper's here, sir.
At this hour? Who let him in?
He's a hard man to keep out, sir.
Yes, Matthew. All right, where are they? Here, Father. Good morning, William. It's a little early for breakfast. I haven't come for breakfast, sir. Will wants to marry me, Father. Well, he can't. Sir Thomas, I'm to become a lawyer. Oh, congratulations, Roper. My family may not be related to the king, sir. William, the Ropers were lawyers when the Moors were shopkeepers. There's nothing wrong with your family. There's nothing wrong with your fortune. There's nothing wrong with you. Except you need a clock. I can buy a clock, sir. Roper, the answer will be no. So long as you're a heretic. That's a word I don't like, Sir Thomas. It's not a likeable word. It's not a likeable thing. That church is heretical. Is that a pope? Is that a cardinal or the devil? Look, Meg, what I know I'll say. You've no sense of the plate. You've no sense of the time. Listen, Roper. 2 years ago, you were a passionate churchman. Now you're the opposite. We must just pray that when your head's finished turning, your face will be to the front again. Is your horse here? No, sir, I walked. Take a horse from the stables and get back home. May I come again? Yes, soon. Good night, Sir Thomas. Is that final, Father? As long as he's against the church, Meg. That's absolute. Nice boy, though. Terribly strong principles. I thought I told you to go to bed. Yes, why? Because I intended you to go to bed. Father, did Cardinal Wolsey talk about the king's divorce? You know, I think we've been on the wrong track with William. It's no use arguing with a Roper. Father, did Cardinal Wolsey talk about the king's divorce? Old Roper was just the same. Oh, I'm sorry you are awakened. I wasn't sleeping very deeply. Thomas, what did Cardinal Wolsey want? You know, young Roper asked for men. Was it you? Yes, wasn't it? Oh, Fox, what did Cardinal Wolsey want, Thomas? He wanted me to read a letter. Was that all? A letter to the Pope. Oh. Won't you talk about it? No. Norfolk was speaking to you as Chancellor before he left. He's a dangerous friend, then. Wolsey's Chancellor, God help him, we don't need another. Would you want to be Chancellor? No. That's what I said. But Norfolk said if the king had Wolsey removed... If Wolsey fell, the splash would be so great it would swamp a few small boats like ours. There'll be no new Chancellor as long as Wolsey lives. Back to bed.
But Wolsey does not live. Wolsey dies, and guess who becomes Chancellor? Excuse me. Not Rich, not Cromwell, but our dear old friend Sir Thomas More. Music, maestro!
and trust, not only for good counsel delivered in council, but for better counsel yet, for which he is privy, and this same Sir Thomas More, here, made before you all, Lord Chancellor of the realm.
I fear we have come upon you somewhat unexpectedly, Lady Alice.
Oh, no, Your Grace, that is, yes. Yes, but we are ready for you, my Grace. Ready to entertain Your Grace.
Your Grace, this is my daughter, Margaret. She has not had the honor to meet Your Grace.
Why, Margaret, they told me you were a scholar, and that you speak Latin too.
Latin, among women, I pass for a scholar, Your Grace.
Antique nodo, modo, Latin aquaris noxoniensi.
Quem me docus pater domine.
Bene, bene! Very good! Take care, Thomas, there is no end to the making of books, and too much reading is a weariness of the flesh. Tell me, can you dance too?
Not well, Your Grace.
Well, I dance superlatively. That's a dancer's leg, Margaret. Hey, Norfolk, now that's a wrestler's leg. But I can throw him. Shall I send them Norfolk, shall I?
No, Your Grace.
You are gentle. That is good.
If Your Grace would share a very simple supper.
It would please me too, Lady Alice. On second thoughts, Thomas and I will follow. Yes, we will follow. Go along now. Wait. Margaret, are you fond of music?
Yes, Your Grace.
Catch. Blow. Now the man! Now! My brother, Miss Lady Alice! Take the man! Take the man! I steered her, Thomas, under sail.
Your Grace has many accomplishments.
A great experience, Thomas, a great experience.
Yes, Your Grace.
Ah, I am a fool.
How so, Your Grace?
What else but a fool to live in a court when I have friends with gardens?
Your Grace!
No courtship, no ceremony, Thomas. Be seated. You are my friends, are you not?
Your Majesty!
And thank God I have a friend for my Chancellor. Readier to be friends, I trust, than he was to be Chancellor.
My own knowledge of my poor ability.
I will judge of your abilities, Thomas. Did you know that Wolsey named you for Chancellor?
Wolsey?
I, before he died. Wolsey named you, and Wolsey was no fool.
He was a statesman of incomparable ability.
Was he? Was he so? Then why did he fail me? Be seated. It was villainy then. Yes, villainy. I was right to break him. He was upright, Thomas, a proud man. Pride right through. And he failed me. He failed me in the one thing that mattered, Thomas. The one thing that mattered then or now. But, look now. I shall forget the feel of that great ship under my hands. A man could sail clean round the world in that ship, Thomas.
Some men could, Your Grace.
Yes. Touching this other business concerning my divorce to Queen Catherine, have you thought of it since we last talked?
Of little else.
Then you see awakely to me.
That you should put away Queen Catherine, sire? Oh, alas, as I think of it, I see so clearly that I cannot cope with Your Grace, and I try not to think of it at all.
Then you have not done enough! Great God, Thomas! What do you hold out against me, the desire of my heart?
Your Grace, there is my right arm. Take your dagger and saw it from my shoulder, and I will laugh and be thankful, if by that means I can come with Your Grace with a clear conscience.
I know it, Thomas. I know.
Your Grace, may I speak?
Speak then.
When I became Chancellor, Your Grace promised not to pursue me on this matter of the divorce.
I break my word, Master Moore! No, I'm joking. I joke roughly. I often think I'm a rough fellow. Yes, a rough young fellow. Be seated. I'm in an excellent frame of mind. You must consider, Thomas, that I stand in peril of my soul.
Your Grace, I'm not fit to meddle in these matters. For me, it seems a matter for the Pope.
Thomas, does a man need a pope to tell him when he sins? My marriage was a sin, Thomas. I admit it, and I repent. And God has punished me. I have no son. Son after son, Catherine's borne me, Thomas. All dead at birth, all dead within the month. I've never seen the hand of God so clear in anything. I have a daughter. She's a good child. Now, well said, child, but I have no son. It is my bounden duty to put away the Queen Catherine, and all the Pope's back to St. Peter shall not come between me and my duty. How is it that you cannot see? Everyone else does.
Then why does your grace need my poor support?
Because you're honest. What's more to the purpose? You're known to be honest. There are those like Norfolk who follow me because I wear the crown. And there are those like Master Cromwell who follow me because they are jackals with sharp teeth. And I, yes, I am their lion. And there is a mess that follows me because it follows anything that moves. And there is you.
I am sick to think how much I must displease your grace.
No, Thomas. I respect your sincerity. Respect. No man is water in the desert. How did you like our music? That air they played, it had a certain... Well, tell me what you thought of it.
Could it have been your grace's own?
Discovered? No, I'll never know your true opinion.
I shall tell your grace what I truly thought of it.
Speak then.
To me, it seemed, well, delightful.
Thomas, I chose the right man for Chancellor.
I must in all fairness add that my taste in music is terrible.
Your taste in music is excellent. It exactly coincides with my own. Music. Send them back without me, Thomas. I will live here in Chelsea and make music.
My house is at your grace's disposal.
Yes. Touching this other business. Mark you, Thomas. I'll have no opposition.
Your grace!
No opposition, I say. Your conscience is your own affair. But you are my Chancellor. There. You have my word. I'll leave you out of it. But I don't take it kindly, Thomas. And I'll have no opposition. I see how it will be. The bishops will oppose me. Hypocrites. They're all hypocrites, Thomas. Mind they do not take you in. Lie low if you will. But I brook no opposition. No word. No sign. No letters. No pamphlets. No writings against me.
Your grace is unjust. I am your grace's loyal minister. If I cannot serve your grace in this great matter of the queen...
I have no queen! Catherine is not my wife, and no priest can make it so. And they that say she is my wife are not only liars, but traitors. Mind it, Thomas. You are stubborn. If you could come with me, if you are the man I would soonest raise. Yes, with my own hands.
Oh, your grace overwhelms me!
Oh, lift yourself up, man. Have I not promised? Shall we eat?
If your grace pleases.
8 o'clock. Thomas, the tide will be changing. I'd better go.
I'm sorry, your grace.
No, don't come. Tell Norfolk. Oh, Lady Albertine must go.
Good night, your grace.
What's this? You angered him?
A little.
Why?
I couldn't find the other way.
Thomas!
Women, mind your house.
I am minding my house.
Well, Thomas, what would you want me to have done?
Thomas, stay friends with him.
Whatever can be done by smiling, you may rely on me.
You don't know how to flatter.
Oh, I flatter very well.
Thomas.
Oh, no.
Well, Robert, what do you want?
How long have you been here? Are you in the king's party?
No, sir, I am not in the king's party. It is of that I wish to speak to you.
His at will? Why?
Yes, sir, I've been offered a seat in the next parliament. Ought I to take it?
No. Well, considering your views on church reformation, I should have thought a seat in the next parliament would do you a lot of good.
My views on the church, sir, I must confess, have somewhat modified. I modify nothing concerning the body of the church. The money changers must be removed. But an attack on the church herself by the king, no. I see behind that an attack on God.
Roper!
The devil's work.
Roper!
To be done by the devil's minister.
Roper, remember my offer!
Oh, if you stand on your office, Sir Thomas.
I don't stand on it, but there are certain things I may not hear. I am the Chancellor!
Young man is out, Chancellor. I have you punished.
Master Richard's here, Sir Thomas.
Good evening, sir. Ah, Richard. Good evening, Lady Alice. Lady Margaret.
Good evening.
Richard, you do know William Roper the Younger?
By reputation, of course. Good evening, Master.
Rich.
Oh.
You have heard of me?
Yes.
In what connection? I don't know what you could have heard. I sense that I'm not welcome here. Why, Richard? Have you done something that should not make you welcome? Why? Do you suspect me of it? I shall begin to. Cromwell's asking questions. About you particularly. He's continually collecting information about you. Of course. Matthew, stay a moment. That's one of his sources. Of course, that's one of my servants. You look at me as though I were an enemy. Why, Richard? You're shaking. I'm adrift. Help me, please. How? Employ me? No. Employ me, please. No. I would be steadfast. Richard, you couldn't even answer for yourself even so far as tonight.
Arrest him!
Yes! For what?
He's dangerous! For libel, he's a spy! He is! Arrest him!
Father, that man's bad. There's no law against that.
Oh, there is God's law.
Then the God can arrest him. The law, Roper, the law. I know what's legal, not what's right, and I'll stick to what's legal.
So you set man's law above God?
Oh, no, far below. But let me draw your attention to one point. I'm not God. But in the law, oh, there I'm a forester. I doubt if there's a man alive who could follow me there.
Well, you talk, he's gone.
Can go he should if he was the devil himself.
So now you give the devil benefit of law?
Yes, what would you do, Roper? Cut a great road through the law so you could get to the devil?
Yes, I'd cut down every law in England to do that.
Oh! And when all the laws were flat and the devil turned round on you, where would you hide then, Roper? Every single law being flat? Yes, I'd give the devil benefit of the law. For my own safety's sake.
I have long suspected this. The law's your God.
Oh, Roper, you're a fool. But whoever hunts for me, Roper, God or devil, shall find me hiding in the thickets of the law, and I'll hide my daughter with me.
Hide you? Hide you from what, Meg? I don't know. I don't know if he knows. He's not said one simple direct word to me since this divorce came up.
And what happens almost immediately? They plot. Both Rich and Cromwell to get at Sir Thomas More. The conspiracy scene between our two evil friends. They won't let up, you know. Not till they get what they want. Jackals, they are. Well, in the end, they get what they want. Crime, dear friends, pays.
Is this a good place for a conspiracy, innkeeper?
You asked for a private room, sir.
Yes. I want a room without too many little dark corners.
I don't understand you, sir. Just the four corners, as you see.
You don't understand me.
That's right, sir.
Do you know who I am?
No, sir.
All right. Get out. Come on. Yes. It may be that I am a little drunk, but not with alcohol, with success. And who has this strong head for success? None of us gets enough of it, except kings, and they're born drunk.
Success? What success?
Yes.
Secretary to the council.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
Oh no, I mean, one sees it's logical.
No ceremony, no courtship. Be seated. As His Majesty would say. Yes. See how I trust you?
I would never repeat or report a thing like that.
What kind of a thing would you repeat or report?
Well, nothing said in friendship. May I say friendship?
If you like. Do you believe that? Do you believe that you would never repeat or report anything?
Yes.
No. But seriously.
Why, yes.
Rich. Seriously.
It would depend what I was offered.
Don't just say it to please me.
It's true. It would depend what I was offered.
Everyone knows it. Not many people can say it. Well, Rich, congratulations.
On what?
I think you'd make a good tax collector.
Is that what you're offering?
Yes.
What do I have to do for it?
Nothing. It isn't like that, Rich. There are no rules. Are you sure you're not religious?
Almost sure.
Get sure. Now, in the present instance, the man who wants to change his woman is our King Henry. By the grace of God, the hate of that name, which is a quaint way of saying if he wants to change his woman, he will. And our job as administrators is to make it, let's say, as convenient as we can for him. I say our job on the assumption you'll take this job I've offered you.
Yes.
It's a bad sign when people are depressed by their own good fortune.
I'm not depressed.
You look depressed.
innocent.
Oh, you lost that some time ago. Why, if you've only just noticed, it can't have been very important to you. Not bad for a start, Rich. Tax collector. Now, our present Lord Chancellor. There's an innocent man.
The odd thing is he is.
Yes, I say he is. The trouble is, his innocence is, well, tangled in this proposition that you can't change your woman without a divorce, and you can't have a divorce unless the Pope says so. Rich, this cup that he gave you, how much was it worth? Come along, Rich. He gave you a silver goblet. How much did you get for it? 50 shillings. Could you take me to the shop?
Yes.
Where did he get it? It was a bribe from a woman, wasn't it?
Yes.
In which court? Sir Thomas More court? No. Don't get drunk. In which court was this case?
Thomas More's court.
There, that wasn't too painful, was it?
No.
That's all there is. And you'll find it easier next time. But Sir Thomas, he has plenty of sense. He could be frightened.
Don't forget, he's an innocent man, Master Cromwell.
I think we'll finish there for tonight. After all, he is the Lord Chancellor.
You wouldn't find me to frighten. You've mistaken your man this time. He doesn't know how to be frightened.
Doesn't know how to be frightened. Why? Then he never put his hand in a candle, did he?
You enjoyed that. You actually enjoyed that.
Time marches on. 2 years later, Henry still hasn't got his divorce. And he's like a lion with a thorn in his foot. Cranky, angry all the time. Terrifying, really. Do I look like the king? I think I do. No ceremony, no courtship. And so he's got all the bishops meeting, and he's told them, I want to be head of the church in England, not some pope in Italy. And the bishops do it. They give in making Henry head of the church in England. And what do you think Sir Thomas More does as soon as he finds out? Wait and see.
That chain of office that you wear, Sir Thomas, is a degradation.
I've told you, if the bishops agree with Henry, I'll take it off. It's no degradation. Great men have worn this. The bishops have given in to the King Thomas, and we've broken away from Rome. me with this, not I.
Shall I, sir?
No, thank you, William. Alice?
Hellfire! Some bloody body, no! Sun and moon, Master Ma! You're taken for a wise man! Is it wisdom to betray your ability, abandon practice, forget your station and your duty to your family? Behave like a fool?
Margaret, will you?
If you want.
There's a clever girl.
Well, Thomas, why? Make me understand, because I'll tell you now from where I stand, this looks like cowardice.
All right, I will look at it. The king has made himself head of the church because the Pope would not declare that the Queen was not his wife.
And is she?
Oh, I'll answer that to one person only, I, the king. And that in private too.
Does this make sense? You'll forfeit all you've got. Man, you're sick.
Come here. Have I your word that what we say is between us and has no existence beyond these walls?
Very well.
And if the king should command you to repeat what we have said,
I should keep my word to you.
oh, then what has become of your oath of obedience to the king?
You lay traps for me.
No. I show you the times.
Why do you insult me with these lawyer's tricks?
Because I'm afraid.
And here's your answer. The king accepts your resignation very sadly. He is mindful of your goodness and past loyalty, and in any matter concerning your honor and welfare, he will be your good lord. So much for your fear.
You will convey my humble gratitude.
I will. Good day, Alice. I'd rather deal with you than your husband. So there's an end of you. What will you do now? Sit by the fire?
Not at all, Alice. I expect I'll write, I'll read, I'll think, I'll play with my grandchildren once son Rupert there has done his duty. Alice, shall I teach you to read?
No, by God! Poor silly man. Do you think they'll leave you here to learn to fish?
Look, I've a word to say. I've made no statement. I've resigned. That is all. On the king's divorce. The marriage he'll then grant himself. Have you heard me make a statement?
No, if I'm to lose my rank and fall to housekeeping, I want to know the reason why. So make a statement now.
No! Alice! Alice! It's a point of law. Accept it from me, Alice, that in silence is my safety under the law. It must be absolute. It must extend to you.
In short, you don't trust us.
Look. Pretend that I am the Lord Chief Justice. Pretend that I am Cromwell. Pretend that I am the King's head jailer, and I take your hand and I clap it on the Holy Bible on the blessed cross. And I say, woman, on these matters, have you heard your husband make a statement? Now, on peril of your soul, remember. What's your answer?
No.
And so it must remain. Oh, it's only a lifeline. We shan't have to use it. But it's comforting to have. No, when they find I'm silent, they'll ask nothing more than to leave me silent. You'll see. Go on, then. Well, Matthew, it's a smaller household now. And a smaller wage for you, I'm afraid. Will you stay?
Don't see how I could then, sir.
Quite right. Quite right. Why should you? Matthew?
No, sir. You never had much time for me, sir. You see through me, sir. I know that.
No, Matthew. I shall miss you. I shall miss you, Matthew.
Miss? He missed me? What's in me for him to miss? I nearly fell for it. Matthew, will you kindly take a cut in your wages? No, Sir Thomas, I will not. That's it, and that's all of it. All right, so he's down on his luck. I'm sorry. I don't mind saying that. I'm sorry. If I had any good luck to spare, he could have some. I wish we could all have good luck, all the time. I wish we had wings. I wish rainwater was beer. But it isn't. I did, you know. I nearly fell for it. Here, 101 out of place. That's better. Nice, isn't it? Well, our friend Sir Thomas ain't got no job, no money. So why are they still out to get him? Because he was seen by people all over England and Europe as a saint. So, even when he said nothing against the king, mind you, he didn't, the king still saw him as a threat. He had to go. I mean, this guy had to go. And he did. Enjoy the oxygen, Sir Thomas. Not much more left for you.
But he makes no noise, Mr. Secretary. He's silent. Why not leave him silent? Not being a man of letters, Your Grace. You perhaps don't realise the extent of his reputation. This silence of his is bellowing up and down Europe. All we need is a brief declaration of his loyalty to the king. I still say let sleeping dogs lie. The king does not agree with you. What kind of pressure do you think you can bring to bear? I have evidence that Sir Thomas, during the time he was judge, accepted bribes. What? God damn it! He was the only judge who didn't accept bribes. I don't believe it. Ah, Richard, you know his grace, of course? Indeed, yes. We're old friends. You used to look after my books or something, didn't you? Come here. This woman's name is Catherine Anger. She comes from Lincoln, and she put a case in Sir...
A property case in
Be quiet. Her property case in Sir Thomas's court in April of 1526.
And got a wicked false judgment.
And got an impeccably correct judgment from our friend Sir Thomas.
No, sir, it was not.
We're not concerned with the judgment, but the bribe you gave Sir Thomas. Tell this gentleman about that. The judgment, for what it's worth, was the right one.
No, sir. I sent him a cup, sir. An Italian silver cup I bought in Lincoln for 100 shillings.
Did Sir Thomas accept this cup?
I sent it.
He did accept it. We can prove that. You can go. Is that your witness? No. By an odd coincidence, this cup later came into the hands of Master Rich here. How? He gave it to me. Can you prove that? I have a fellow outside who can. He was Moore's steward at the time. Shall I call him? Don't bother, I know him. When did Thomas give you this thing? I don't exactly remember. Well, make an effort. Wait. I can tell you. It was that spring. It was that night we were there together. You had a cup of you when we left. Was that it? It may have been. That was it then. That was it. And it was April. The April of 26. The very month that Cal first put her case before him. In other words, the moment he knew it was a bribe, Thomas with.
Look here, Cromwell, I want no part of this.
You have no choice.
What's that you say?
The king especially wishes you to be active in the matter.
He has not told me that.
Indeed. He told me.
But why?
We feel that since you are known to have been a friend of Laud, your participation in the matter will show that there is nothing in the nature of a persecution except the strict processes of law. If you like, I'll tell the king you want no part of it.
Are you threatening me, Cromwell?
Sir Thomas is going to be a slippery fish, Richard. We need a net with a finer mesh.
Yes, Secretary?
We'll weave one for him, shall we? You and I.
I'm only anxious to do what is correct, Secretary.
Yes, Richard, I know. You're absolutely right. It must be done by law. It's just a matter of finding the right law. Or making one.
The heat's on you, Sir Thomas. Won't you come to your senses? Just say, "Okay, King, I agree with the divorce. I recognize your new marriage." And that's it. You'd be left alone. Can't you just lie? I mean, the rest of us did. But then we're ordinary people. Ordinary people.
I'm sorry to have invited you here at such short notice, Sir Thomas. Good of you to come. Will you take a seat? I think you know Master Rich here?
Yes, indeed. We're old friends. It's a nice gown you have, Richard.
Master Richard will make a record of our conversation.
Good of you to tell me, Master Secretary.
Believe me, Sir Thomas. No, that's asking too much. But let me tell you all the same, you have no more sincere admirer than myself. Not yet, Red! Not yet.
If I might hear the charges.
Charges?
I understood there are to be certain charges.
Some ambiguities of behavior I should like to clarify. Hardly charges.
Make a note of that, will you, Master Rich? There are no charges.
Sir Thomas, Sir Thomas. The king is not pleased with you.
I am grieved.
Yet do you know that even now, if you could bring yourself to agree with the universities, the bishops and the parliament, there is no honour the king would be likely to deny you.
I am well acquainted with his grace's generosity.
Very well. You have heard of the so-called Holy Maid of Kent, who was executed for prophesying against the king?
Yes, I knew the poor woman.
You sympathize with her.
She was ignorant and misguided. She was a bit mad, I think, and she has paid for her errors. Naturally, I sympathize with her.
You admit meeting her. You met her. And yet she did not warn His Majesty of her treason. How was that?
She spoke no treason. Our conversation was not political.
My
You wrote a letter to her?
Yes. I wrote advising her to abstain from meddling in the affairs of princes in the state. I have a copy of this letter, also witnessed.
You have been cautious.
I like to keep my affairs regular.
Sir Thomas, is there anything you wish to say to me concerning the king's marriage with Anne or the break with Rome?
I understood I was not to be asked that again.
Evidently, you understood wrongly these charges.
These charges are terrors for children, Master Secretary. Not for me.
Then know that the king commands me to charge you in his name with great ingratitude, and to tell you that there never was nor never could be so villainous a servant nor so traitorous a subject as yourself.
So I am brought here at last.
Brought? You brought yourself to where you stand now.
Yes. Still, in another sense, I was brought.
Oh, yes. You may go home now. For the present. I don't like him so well as I did. There's a man who raises the gale and won't come out of harbour.
Ah! Norfolk! It's good of you to be seen with me.
I followed you.
Were you followed?
Probably. So listen to what I have to say. You're behaving like a fool. What about your friends?
What about them?
God damn it, you're dangerous to know.
Then don't know me.
There's something further. You must have realized by now there's a policy in regards to you. The king is using me in it.
That's clever. That's Cromwell. You must cease to know me.
I do know you. I wish I didn't, but I do.
I mean as a friend.
You are my friend.
You must relieve yourself of our friendship. No one's sick now and you have a son.
You might as well advise a man to change the colour of his hair. I'm fond of you and there it is. You're fond of me and there it is.
What's to be done then?
Give in to the king.
Oh, I can't, Norfolk. You might as well advise a man to change the colour of his eyes. I can't.
And who are you? God damn it, man, it's disproportionate. We're supposed to be the arrogant ones and proud ones, and we've all given in to the king. Why must this stand out? You'll break my heart.
Listen, we'll do it now. We'll part as friends and meet as strangers. Norfolk. You're a fool.
You can't pretend to have a quarrel. You haven't the style.
Hear me out. You and your noble class, as you so rightly call it, have given in to the king because the religion of this country means nothing to you one way or the other.
Well, that's a foolish saying for a start. The nobility of England has always
The nobility of England, my lord, would have not through Christ's servant on the mountain.
an artificial quarrel's not a quarrel.
Don't deceive yourself, my lord. We've had a quarrel since the day we met. Our friendship is but laziness.
Oh, you can be cruel when you've a mind to be, but I've always known that.
Listen, I will not give in to the king because I oppose it. I do. Not my pride, not my spleen, or any other part of my appetite. I do.
Thomas.
Because as you stand, you'll go before God in a very ill condition.
Now steady,
And you'll
Thomas.
have to think that somewhere back along your pedigree, a bitch got over the wall. God damn you!
Father? Father, what was that?
That was Norfolk.
Thomas, do you know? Have you heard me? Have you told him? We've been looking for you, Father. There's to be a new act through Parliament, sir. By this act, they're going to administer an oath. If you don't take the oath, sir, it's considered to be a treasonable crime.
What's the wording of the oath?
We don't need to know the wording. We know what it will mean.
It will mean what the words say. An oath is made of words. It may be possible to take it or to avoid it.
Go home and read it. What good will it do you, Sir Thomas? And so our friend is taken to jail, and they question him, and they question him. They wake him up night after night in the early hours of the morning. But he won't do it. He won't agree. He won't sign the piece of paper recognizing the king's divorce and the king's new marriage. But they can try, can they not?
What? Who is it? What time is it?
Just struck one, sir.
Who wants to see me?
The secretary, the duke, and the archbishop, sir.
Oh, I'm flattered.
A chair for the prisoner. This is the 7th Commission to inquire into the case of Sir Thomas More, appointed by His Majesty's Council. Have you anything to say? No. Mr. Secretary.
Sir Thomas. Over the witnesses attend, Secretary.
Sir.
Nearer. Come where you can hear. Sir Thomas, you have seen this document before? Many times. It is the Act of Succession. These are the names of those who have sworn to it. I have seen it before. Will you swear to it?
No. Thomas, we must know plainly.
Your Grace, please.
Master Cromwell.
So I beg your Grace's pardon.
Thomas, we must know plainly whether you recognise the children of Queen Anne as next in line to His Majesty. Will you swear that you do? Why won't you swear to the Act?
Your Grace, may I try? Sir Thomas, it states in the preamble that the King's former marriage to the Lady Catherine was unlawful, she being previously his brother's wife, and the Pope having no authority to sanction it. Is that what you deny? Is that what you dispute? Is that what you are not sure of?
Thomas, you insult the King and his council in the person of the Lord Archbishop.
I insult no one. I will not swear to the Act. I will not tell you why I will not swear to it.
Then your reasons must be treasonable.
Not must be, my lord, maybe.
It's a fair assumption.
The law requires more than an assumption, my lord. The law requires a fact. You do have objections to the Act.
Well, we know that, Cromwell.
You don't, my lord. You may suppose I have objections to the Act. All you know is that I will not swear to it.
Oh, confound all this. I'm not a scholar, as Master Cromwell never tires of pointing out, and frankly, I don't know if the marriage was lawful or not. But damn it, Thomas, look at those names. You know those men. Can't you do what I did and come with us for fellowship?
For fellowship? And when we stand before God, can you ascend to paradise for doing according to your conscience? I am damned to hell for not doing according to mine. Will you come with me to hell? For fellowship? Oh, gentlemen, can't I go to bed? You don't seem to appreciate the seriousness of your position. Satisfy anyone to live in my cell for a year and not appreciate the seriousness of their position. Yet the state has harsher punishment. You threaten like a dockside bully. How should I threaten? Like a minister of state. With justice. No, justice is what you're threatened with. Then I'm not threatened.
Master Secretary, I think the prisoner may retire as he requests. Then good night, Thomas.
Wait here, please, Sir Thomas.
awful place, sir.
Oh, apart that it's keeping me from you, my dears, it's not so bad. Remarkably like any other place.
Thomas, it drips.
Yes, it's too close to the river.
We've brought you some things. Some cheese
Cheese!
and a custard
Custard!
and some other things.
Yes. Oh, bread. Fruit. Oh. What's the matter?
Sir? Sir, swear to the act, take the oath and come out.
Is this why they let you in here? You want me to swear to the act of succession?
Say the words of the oath and in your heart think otherwise.
What is an oath but words we say to God?
That's very neat.
Oh, you mean it isn't true?
No, it's true.
It's a poor argument to call it neat, Meg.
But in reason, haven't you done as much as God can reasonably want?
Well, finally, it isn't a matter of reason. Finally, it's a matter of love.
You're content then to be shut up here with mice and rats?
Content?
You can be home with us?
Content? If they live in the cracks, then why they be through it?
Well, I've not yet told you what the house is like without you.
Turn, Meg.
What we do in the evenings, now that you're not
Meg,
there.
I'm done.
We sit in the dark because we've no candles, and we've no talk because we're wondering what they're doing to
Meg!
you. And we hunt in the woods for food.
Meg! The king's more merciful than you. He doesn't use the rack.
2 minutes to go, sir. Thought you'd like to know.
2 minutes.
Till 7 o'clock, sir. 2
No.
minutes.
William, go to him, occupy him. Listen, you must both leave on the same boat. No, not from the same boat. On different boats from different ports.
What, after the trial?
No, they have no trial. There'll be no case. Do this for me.
Yes, I'll do it for you, Father.
Alice? Alice, I command it.
All right.
Alice, I'm faint to think what they may do to me. But worse than that, what did to die without you not understanding why I died?
I don't understand.
Alice, if you can tell me that you understand, I think I can make a good death of it if I have to.
Your death no good to me.
Alice, you must tell me that you understand.
I don't believe this had to happen.
If you say that, Alice, I don't see how I'm to face it.
It's the truth. Much good may do me. Let me tell you what I am afraid of. That when you're gone, I shall hate you for it.
No, Alice! Alice, you mustn't! Alice, don't you understand anything about my opposition?
As for understanding, I understand you're the best man I have ever met. Or am likely to. And if well, God knows why I suppose, though as God's my witness, God's kept deadly quiet about it. And if anyone's my opinion of the king and his council, they've only to ask for it.
Sorry, sir. Time's up.
But you said for 7!
It's 7 now.
No, Alice!
Thomas,
Margaret, give us a minute. Alice, don't
Excuse me,
forget.
Mr. Thomas. Please sit down.
Sir Thomas More, you are called before us here at the Hall of Westminster to answer charge of high treason. We hope you will even now repent and taste the King's gracious pardon.
My lords, I thank you. Howbeit, I make my petition to the Almighty God to keep me in this, my honest mind, to the last hour that I shall live. I fear from my present weaknesses that neither my wit
memory shall serve to make sufficient answers. I should be glad to sit down.
Be seated. Master Secretary Cromwell, have you the charge? I have, my lord. Then read the charge. That you did conspire traitorously and maliciously to deny and deprive our Lord Henry of his undoubted certain title, Supreme Head of the Church of England.
But I have never denied this title!
You refuse to take the oath tendered to you at the Tower and elsewhere.
Silence is not denial! And for my silence I am punished with imprisonment! Why have I been called again?
On a charge of high treason, Sir Thomas, for which the punishment is not imprisonment.
Death comes for us all, my lords. Yes, even for kings he comes.
The death of kings is not in question, Sir Thomas.
Nor mine, I trust, until I'm proven guilty.
Your life lies in your own hand, Thomas, as it always has. Now, Sir Thomas, you stand upon your silence.
I do.
But, gentlemen of the jury, there are many kinds of silence. Consider first the silence of a man when he is dead. And let us say we enter the room where he is lying. And let us say it is in the dead of night. There's nothing like darkness for sharpening the ear. And we listen. What do we hear? Silence. What does this silence mean? Nothing. This is silence. Pure and simple. But consider another case. Suppose I were to draw a dagger from my sleeve and make to kill the prisoner with it. And suppose their lordships then, instead of crying out for me to stop, or crying out for help to stop me, maintained their silence. This would mean something. This would mean a willingness that I should do it. And under the law, they would be guilty with me. So, silence can, according to circumstances, speak. Consider now the circumstances of the prisoner's silence. The oath was put to good and faithful subjects up and down the country, and they had all declared His Grace's title to be just and good. But when it came to the prisoner, he refused. He calls this silence. But is there any man in this court, is there any man in this country who does not know Sir Thomas More's opinion of this title? Of course not. But how can this be? Because this silence meant something? Nay, this silence was not silence at all, but most eloquent denial of the king being head of the church and of the king's marriage to Queen Anne.
Not so, Master Secretary. The maxim is quita sed consentir. The law is silence gives consent. You therefore must assume that I consented, not that I denied the law.
Is that what the world in fact assumes from it? Do you pretend that is what you wish the world to assume from it?
The world must assume according to its wits. This court must assume according to the law.
My lords, I wish to call Sir Richard Rich.
I do solemnly
swear that the evidence I shall give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me God, Sir Richard. So help me God, Sir Richard.
So help me God. Take your stand there, Sir Richard. Now, Rich, on the 12th of March, you were at the Tower.
I was?
Did you talk with the prisoner?
Yes.
Did you talk about the king's supremacy of the church?
Yes.
What did you say?
I said, Parliament has made our king head of the church. Why will you not accept him?
Well?
Then he said the king had no power to do it.
He denied the title?
He did.
In good faith, Rich. I am sorry for your peril, for your perjury, and for my peril. You swore to tell the truth on the Bible. Do you deny this charge? Yes. Now I will take an oath. If what Master Rich there has said is true, I pray I may never see God in the face, which I would not say were it not for anything on earth. That is not evidence. Is it probable? Is it probable that after so long a silence on this, the very point so urgently sought of me, I should open up my mind to such a man as that? Do you wish to modify your testimony?
No, Master Secretary.
Sir Richard, have you anything to add?
Nothing, Master Secretary.
Sir Thomas? To what purpose? I am a dead man. You have your desire of me. What you have hunted me for is not for my actions, but for the thoughts of my heart. Then the witness may withdraw. I have one question to ask the witness. That's a chain of office you are wearing. May I see it? The Red Dragon. What's this? Sir Richard is appointed Attorney General for Wales. For Wales? Why, Richard, it profits a man nothing to sell his soul for the whole world. But for Wales? Now I must ask the court's indulgence. I have a message for the prisoner from the king. I'm empowered to tell you that even now... No, it cannot be. The case rests. My lord, we the jury will retire and consider the evidence. Considering the evidence, it shouldn't be necessary for us to retire. Is it necessary? Then is the prisoner guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, my lord.
Prisoner at the bar, you have been found guilty on the charge of high treason. The sentence of the court... My lord! It was the manner when I was practicing the law to ask the prisoner before pronouncing sentence whether they had anything to say. Have you anything to say? Yes! To avoid this, I have taken every path my winding wits would find. Now that the court has determined to condemn me, God knows how I will a man alive, and in good faith. I long not to live. Nevertheless, it is not for the supremacy that you have sought my blood, but because I would not bend to the marriage.
Prisoner at the bar, you have been found guilty on the charge of high treason. The sentence of the court is that you shall be taken from this court to the Tower, sent to the place of execution, and there your head shall be stricken from your body, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Sir Thomas More is beheaded. The year 1535. He was proclaimed a saint in the year 1935. Cromwell, 5 years later, was found guilty of high treason and was executed. The Duke of Norfolk was to be executed, but the king died the night before the execution and was unable to sign the warrant. The Archbishop Cranmer was burned alive in 1556. Oh, and Richard Rich, well, he became a knight, Sir Richard Rich, a baron, Solicitor General, and yes, in the end, Lord Chancellor. And he died peacefully in his bed. So did I, and so I hope will all of you. Job to do. Suppose I'd better do it. I'm still breathing. Are you breathing too? Nice, isn't it? Well, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed our little comedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I call upon the Headmaster and the Director of Men for All Seasons, Mr. Nicholas Kyriacos.
fathers and presbyteros, fellow principals and benefactors, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. We've been rehearsing this play for 10 months. We started in February, and I have heard the words of Sir Thomas More's so many times, and yet I never tire of hearing them. At the beginning of this year, I decided that I wanted to direct a play. I'd never directed a play before, and I knew that this year would probably be the first and last time I would direct a play, mainly because of my workload. And I wanted the play that I would direct to be the very best that I could do. I chose this particular play because I had taught it on a number of occasions, some 4 or 5 times to different classes, and I had always found it an extremely moving play. It's a great play because it unfolds to that awful climax at the end when Sir Thomas More is executed. It's a true play. Even the words that Sir Thomas More utters, many of the words that he says, have been taken from his own writings. All of the characters that you saw portrayed in this play tonight are from real life. All the events as they unfolded are true. It's all based on fact. And out of the many things that are said in the play, I don't think any of them is more moving than what Sir Thomas More says in the second last scene to his daughter Margaret. Margaret says to Sir Thomas More, can't remember it, in the name of reason, haven't you done enough? That's right. And Sir Thomas More replies, in the end, it isn't a matter of reason, in the end, it's a matter of love. And it's an extraordinary story. He only had to utter some 6 or 7 words. That's all he had to do. And he would have not only saved his life, he would have remained Chancellor of England, one of the most powerful positions in England at the time, as the common man told us. His family would have not become destitute. They lived in poverty. They lived without candles. And as Margaret said to her own father, we hunt in the forest for food. So he inflicted poverty upon his own family, and he brought about his own death because he could not do otherwise than live by his principle. And he could not sign that oath because he believed when you signed an oath, you are talking to God. And he could not lie to God. So he went to his death. So it's a great story. At the beginning of this year, when we started to rehearse, I gave them only one specific direction, and that is that I said we will do our very best to produce a play that is perfect. We will concentrate on everything, on tone of voice, where you are looking when you utter this word, what you are doing with your hand when you are saying that word, where you will position your body, where you will walk. And we have practiced these scenes literally hundreds of times. And not once in the last 10 months have I heard a word of complaint from these children, because they, like I, wanted to do the very best that they could and put on a play that was to the very best of their ability. I'm extremely proud of you children. You put on the performance of your lives tonight, and ladies and gentlemen, could we please give them another round of applause? But as you know, there are many people who are involved in a production such as this, and it's not just those who are in the cast. Everyone had to do their bit, and there are many people behind the scenes who had to synchronise their movements in tune, in line with what happened on stage to produce the play that you saw tonight. We have, first of all, could you come to the front please, on sound. I'll introduce them as one and we can applaud them as one. First of all, there's Charlie Betikavas on sound. With, as you know, I'd rather introduce them all because there are quite a few. We'll applaud them at the end. Come and stand at the front, please, Charlie. There are the 2 people off stage who are following the words of the characters on stage, just in case they missed a line, and they were there ready to prompt. And they weren't there just ready to prompt, they were there ready to take the role of any actor should one of these actors have become unwell on the night. As it turned out, they weren't needed, but still they've had to learn the whole play. And they are Corinne Lucas and Catherine Katsalis. We have the prop people. These people, not just moving the props around tonight, but also being here for all of our rehearsals. And I think it's important to note, ladies and gentlemen, that this play, in rehearsing it for tonight, all the rehearsals were done in the children's own time, at lunchtime, in the afternoons, on weekends, and during the evening. We only lost time on Friday afternoon, and that's to the credit not just of the cast, but also the crew, who have been carrying backwards and forwards these props and doing all manner of small jobs. So they are Dimitri Michalopoulos, Agapitos Chatzinikitis, and George Kyprianou. We have on lights, George Savoulis. Come to the front, please, you people. George Savoulis. And we have as well the gentleman who is at the school some 2-3 times a week helping with the tuck shop and has been doing so since the school started. The primary school started in 1983. Mr. Kyriacos, who's always ready to help carry things about. Mr. Kyriacos, I know you're here somewhere, if you can come forward. And this set that you see, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great comfort to me to be able to have somebody just take over in the set and the clothes. I did not have to give a single thought as to what the set looked like, what props were chosen, what clothes were chosen. They were all left to Mrs. Olga Lambie. And Mrs. Lambie, if you could come forward too, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's the cast. Now I would just like to, last of all, just introduce to you the cast of the play. We have, on the far left here, playing the role of Alice, was Joanne Kalergis. To the far right, Maria Lefteriou playing the role of Meg, Sir Thomas's daughter. Then we have Diane Vlachos playing the role of Richard Rich, and over to the other side, Dimitra Barlas playing the role of the Duke of Norfolk. Christella Panayotou, third from the left, played 2 roles. She played the role of Cardinal Wolsey and also William Roper. And third from the right, we have Katina Vlachos. You did well, Katina. You know, something always goes wrong. And it's a measure of the success of a person's performance as to how they overcome a weakness. And you did marvellously well just by simply taking that moustache and beard off and continuing with your role. Katina played 3 roles. She played the role of Henry VIII, of course, the woman, and the litigant, and Archbishop Cranmer. Margot, fourth from the left, played the very sinister Cromwell, and you may not have noticed him, but that fellow there, who's holding that bottle of champagne, I suppose, is Nathan Damianos, and he played the role of the common man. And this little lady here had to learn so many lines, and I don't think we have ever had a full dress rehearsal when I haven't been moved by some of the things that she has had to say. She has said them with her heart, she has understood her role, and you were marvellous, Helen. Helen Zoid as the Thomas More. Take it out all of you. One last bow. It's not often, ladies and gentlemen, that you get the opportunity to be served tea and coffee by a king, by a chancellor, by a cardinal disguised as a son-in-law, or by another chancellor who's had her head put back into place. But the parents and friends are going to be assisted by the cast here. If you'd like to stay behind, please do so. I'll serve just a cup of tea or coffee and just something plain to drink and eat. We also have spare copies of our literary magazine. They're there to be given away. Please do take one. I'm sure the cast and the crew would enjoy you staying behind. If you'd like the opportunity to talk to them, please do so. Thank you very, very much for being here. It's wonderful to see a good crowd.
Wait, come on, stop being so impatient.
Excuse me, please. Sit down for me. You can stand later. Okay, I just have a bottle of Great Western champagne or something to give to you, sir. And on behalf of the cast, we'd all like to say thank you very much to him. Oh yes, tea and coffee to everyone. And to finish off, I'd just like to say, if anyone would like to join me and you guys back in the boys' change room, because it gets a bit lonely.
Another 2 times and I'd enjoy it. Yes, it is. First of all, it's such a powerful play. Yeah.